What if I told you that some of the world's most exciting theme parks have terrifying secrets hidden behind the magic? In this video, we're deep diving into the top 10 haunted theme parks, from rides built on graveyards to ghost sightings caught on camera. Most visitors go for thrills and laughter, but few leave with stories they'll never forget. Stay tuned, because number 1 is a Disney theme park you may have already visited. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 haunted theme parks. At number 10 is Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in West Virginia. The amusement park started as a simple lakeside attraction in the 1920s. A Ferris wheel, a set of swings, and a handful of rides that drew families from miles around. But Lake Shawnee's story began long before its first ticket was ever sold. In the late 1700s, centuries before the theme park ever existed, the land was the site of a violent conflict between European settlers and the indigenous Shawnee people. A settler named Mitchell Clay had moved his family onto the land, but in 1783, a tragic incident occurred. Several of Clay's children were attacked and killed by a group of Shawnee residents while he was away hunting. Clay retaliated by leading the counterattack that killed several Shawnee in return. That brutal cycle of violence became one of the most retold stories of early American conflict in the region, still told to this day. When archaeologists dug beneath the park in the late 1980s, they uncovered the remains of Native American settlements and the several graves believed to be the skeletons of Mr. Clay's children. When the amusement park was built in the 1920s, the locals already believed the area was cursed or haunted by a brutal history. The events at the park itself only confirmed their fears. During the park's short life, 6 visitors died from drowning, ride malfunctions, and one accident where a delivery truck driver struck a girl on one of the swings. Her bright pink dress became a ghost story all of its own. Today, her swing still stands. Ghost hunters claim it moves by itself, even on windless nights. Visitors to the abandoned park today swear they hear laughter by the Ferris wheel and see shadowy figures moving in between the rusted rides. The park has been abandoned since 1966, but every Halloween, for one night only, its gates open for the Dark Carnival. Every year brings new reports. Phantom laughter, shifting shadows, and the eerie sense that the park's last guests never quite left. Coming in at number 9 is Gulliver's Kingdom, Japan. At the foot of Mount Fuji, a colossal statue of the explorer Gulliver once lay. When the Gulliver's Kingdom theme park opened in 1997, it promised an uplifting escape from Japan's economic gloom. But they made a terrible mistake when choosing the location. The park was built beside Japan's infamous suicide forest. Guests complained of an oppressive silence and sightings of things that couldn't be explained. The air felt heavy. Workers spoke of hearing cries in the trees when the park was empty. Within 4 years, the laughter had stopped. The park shut down, and its enormous statue lay abandoned on a hillside, like a fallen god. The urban explorers who have dared to venture inside describe it as unnervingly quiet and frightening. While the wind whistles through the park's abandoned pathways, and the fog rolls across the miniature village like a ghostly tide. Some say they have seen figures watching from the forest's edge, motionless, half hidden, and standing among the trees. Coming in at number 8 is Six Flags New Orleans. When Hurricane Katrina roared through Louisiana in 2005, it drowned an entire city, and with it, an amusement park. Six Flags New Orleans was left underwater for weeks. When the floodwater receded, the laughter was gone, but the rides stood still, twisted, sunken, and silent. Everything was coated in thick mud. Rusting roller coasters rose from the murky water like the bones of some forgotten giant. Plush toys floated in the streets. For years, the park sat untouched, a post-apocalyptic landscape of rust and rot. Security guards reported hearing carousel music, playing ever so faintly at night, although every speaker had long since died. Others swore they smelt popcorn drifting through the ruins, or heard the mechanical click of the coaster train pulling its invisible train uphill. The site became a favourite for film crews, used as a backdrop for zombie movies and disaster scenes. But even the most hardened professional refused to stay after dark. Today, nature has reclaimed most of the theme park. Trees grow through ticket booths, and alligators patrol what used to be the parking lot. Six Flags New Orleans isn't just abandoned, it's haunted by everything that the city lost. Coming in at number 7 is Spreepark Berlin. Spreepark opened in 1969 during the Cold War as East Germany's only amusement park. After the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, it was privatized, expanded, and slowly consumed by chaos. The new owner poured his life into keeping it alive, but by the early 2000s, the debts were unpayable. In a desperate gamble, he fled to Peru with several rides. He was caught, imprisoned, and the theme park was abandoned, left to rot on the edge of Berlin's River Spree. Today, the Ferris wheel still turns, moved only by the wind. Locals say that it sounds like screams from past guests. The once beautiful swan boats still drift across an algae-covered pond. At night, security patrols hear children's voices or see the lights flickering inside the funhouse, despite there being no power. When the city tried to redevelop the park, workers refused to enter certain buildings after one man claimed he saw a pale figure staring back at him from a broken window. Spreepark remains partly fenced off, where the Cold War's laughter never truly stopped echoing. At number 6 is the Holy Land Experience Orlando. The Holy Land Experience opened in 2001, complete with Roman streets, costumed apostles, and live religious reenactments daily. A park that was meant to inspire belief instead became a magnet for strange tales. Visitors reported mannequins that seemed to change positions between shows, doors that seemingly opened by themselves, and voices whispering scripture in empty corridors. Staff said they sometimes heard choirs singing along after closing, even when the speakers were turned off. The park finally closed in 2021. It was left eerily intact. The Jerusalem replica, the garden tomb, and even the stage where the actors once portrayed Christ's final moments, all are frozen in time under the Florida sun. Coming in at number 5 is Pripyat Amusement Park, Ukraine. Pripyat's amusement park never got its grand opening. It was scheduled for May 1st, 1986, but the Chernobyl reactor exploded just 5 days earlier. When the radiation alarms went off, thousands fled. The Ferris wheel, dodgems, and carousel were all left mid-construction, forever waiting for the crowds that would never come. Today, the park is one of the most haunting places on Earth. The yellow Ferris wheel stands rusted against the skyline, unmoving except for the slightest breeze. Gas masks litter the ground, and trees grow through the asphalt. Visitors describe an eerie stillness. Some tourists claim they have heard laughter, music, or seen the Ferris wheel turn a few inches on its own. The tragedy of Chernobyl froze itself in time, and the park remains a symbol of innocence, lost to science gone wrong. At number 4 is Okpo Land, South Korea. On a quiet hillside in South Korea, the remnants of a small amusement park tell a horrifying story. Okpo Land was a local favourite, a modest park filled with bright rides and carnival games. In the late 1990s, tragedy struck. A young girl fell to her death from a duck-themed ride. The park closed briefly, but soon reopened, leaving the same ride in place. Despite the locals being furious, business continued as usual, until another death occurred years later, almost identical to the first. That night, the park's owner disappeared. No notice, no warning, just gone. The gates were locked, and everything was left behind. Tickets, toys, even food in the vending machines. For years, the dock cars hung from the track, like a grim reminder of the past. Urban explorers would report lights flickering, and the eerie sound of music boxes playing faintly in the wind. When the site was finally demolished in 2011, locals said they heard a final metallic crash, like the ride was exhaling its final breath. Coming in at number 3 is Heritage Land, USA. In the 1980s, televangelist Jim and Tammy Faye Baker built a Christian empire, complete with its own theme park, hotel, and water park. Heritage USA drew millions of visitors each year, promising faith and fun in equal measure. But behind the bright facade, corruption was brewing. Financial scandals hit first. Then the hurricane tore through the park in 1989, devastating what remained. When the investigators arrived, they found eerie scenes, hymn books scattered across the ground, church pews floating in flooded chapels. The park never reopened. Visitors to the ruins tell of phantom sermons echoing through the air and faint organ music drifting from the destroyed church at night. Some say that the televangelist's televised prayers left behind an energy that never fully faded. Parts of the land have since been redeveloped, but those who work there still report cold spots and whispered voices. It's as if the faith that built Heritage USA refuses to leave. At number 2 is Wonderland Beijing, China. In the 1990s, developers promised to build the biggest amusement park in Asia. They called it Wonderland, a place of castles, roller coasters, and dreams. But halfway through construction, funding collapsed amid corruption scandals. The workers vanished, the dream died. For more than a decade, the half-built towers stood alone, surreal monuments of concrete and silence. Locals began reporting strange lights in the empty castle at night, and voices echoing through the unfinished tunnels. Some say they saw children playing in the distance, only to disappear when approached. Farmers refused to work the land closest to the ruins, claiming their livestock grew restless at sunset. When demolition finally came in 2013, construction crews complained of tools vanishing, machinery failing, and the overwhelming feeling that someone was watching. Despite Wonderland never welcoming one single guest, somehow it still made memories no one can explain. And finally, at number 1 is Disneyland Shanghai. Unlike the other parks mentioned in this list, this park is alive and thriving. Millions visit every year, but something strange has always lingered here. Whispers among staff, rumours on social media, stories Disney would rather you ignore. Cast members have claimed to see children wandering the park alone, dressed in outdated clothes, who vanish upon approach. Ride operators hear giggling through the headsets after closing, when the park is empty. Security guards reviewing night vision cameras swear they have seen figures walking the paths long after everyone has gone, but when they go to check, the paths are completely empty. One viral story tells of a cleaner in the enchanted storybook castle who heard music playing softly behind a locked door. When she opened it, the room was dark and her flashlight caught the reflection of a man's face in the mirror. Some say the land beneath the park was sacred long before construction began. Others think it's just the price you pay of creating magic on an industrial scale. Either way, Disneyland Shanghai proves one thing: even the happiest place on earth can have a shadow. If you enjoyed this countdown of haunted theme parks, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the strange and unexplained. Click the video on your screen to see the top 10 countries that no longer exist.